It's Amanda again with UnHinged magazine, and I'm super stoked to be sitting with John Craigie. He's been characterized as the love child of John Prine and Mitch Hedberg, and he's renowned for his eloquent Americana style and has that deep-rooted legacy of classic singer-songwriters. So, did I hear right? Like, you actually got freaking Chuck Norris to send you some fan mail?
That was a long time ago, but yes, I had written a song that mentioned him, and his, I think two of his workers saw me, and they sent it back to him. So he's actually, if you stay right there, I can show you this is the signed image of Chuck. So
that is epic.
But that was a few years back now. But yeah, that's funny.
Well, Chuck Norris had a heart attack one time, but his heart lost. Some kids can piss their names into the snow, but Chuck, he can piss his name in the sidewalk. He counted to infinity, not once, my friends, but twice. Yeah, and Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad he never cried.
So I freaking love the collab you did with Jack Johnson. I mean, how amazing was that? How did that actually happen?
Yeah, it was very random. It's one of those situations that, you sort of hear about in movies, but in actuality is not normally how these things work. In real life, usually it's, a manager knows another manager and they kind of get you together. But yeah, it was sort of the age-old Jack. Someone gave Jack a CD of mine, and then he listened to it and he liked it, and then he reached out to me to come play in Hawaii, and I did, and then we just sort of became friends, and then he asked me to open that run with him.
And it's amazing. I absolutely love it.
In New Orleans in the morning, after Mardi Gras, it's like the sweetest hangover you ever saw. All the buildings sad, the beats hang from the trees in the pink sky dawn. I stumble to the feet in the corner of the bar, a notepad and a pen, a little hair of the dog. I wrote Mr. Tambourine Man, when the apocalypse is over, I hope you like your job.
But even in those lyrics, there's a question about if you'd be happy with your job after the apocalypse. So yeah. If music was not an option for you, what would your career choice had been?
People have been asking me that a lot these past few months. I'm not sure. I've been still trying to think of that. I think I would still like to be involved in writing of some kind, whether it would be novels or short stories or, comedy. But, I've never done anything else really. I taught was the only other sort of real job I had, and I didn't like that. So, I've done some like maintenance, outdoor trash pickup and things like that, and I enjoyed that when I was younger. So maybe something with the outdoors. I love the ocean, maybe a sailor of some kind.
So who else would you just be absolutely fangirling about collaborating with?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm usually pretty mellow. I'm not much of a fangirl, but man, that's a really good question. There's so many good songwriters out there that I admire. Greg Brown, Todd Snyder, Lionel Wainwright III. Writers out there that are really, someone like John Prine would have been great to collaborate with. I think people in that vein who are telling stories, I would love to work with. But I've never really done much collaborating, so.
Exactly. So how has the pandemic affected you with tours or any releases? I found that a lot of people have been making the most of it by using the time to write. So what's the impact on you?
Yeah, the biggest impact for me was I was touring, most of the year. So I've been home a lot more, which is not my favorite. I really liked touring. And some of my friends were getting a little burnt out, so they've enjoyed the time off. But it's been a little harder for me because that's really where I find most of my inspiration. But I've been able to find new ways to write and new ways to tap into inspiration and just go a little slower with everything, which feels good. and just getting really excited for whenever I might get a chance to play again.
Perfect. Yeah, and speaking of the pandemic, and we were all in a quarantine for a while, did you find some really cool shows to binge watch?
Ooh, that's a good question. I watched Tiger King in the beginning. You know,
My last interview just said the same thing.
yeah. I really like Atlanta with Daniel Glover. I really like. I just started watching a show called Midnight Gospel, which is really sort of psychedelic and really interesting. I'm trying to think what else. I've been watching a lot more movies too, so that's been nice.
Yeah, exactly. So have I. So tell us a little bit about yourself in general. Where did you grow up? How many siblings do you have? Give the viewers a little bit of background about you.
Yeah, I was born in Los Angeles, and I have 2 older sisters, and I lived there for my youth, and I was there till I was 18, and I graduated from high school. I went to college in Santa Cruz, sort of northern central California, which was a total opposite vibe. You know, I grew up sort of in a more square community, even though it was Los Angeles, you know, a little more like sports and like academic oriented. And so getting to Santa Cruz was the total opposite, you know, music and hanging out and, you know, that hippie stuff. And so it was really nice. I definitely leaned more towards that vibe. I was really happy to be up in the Northern California. So I kind of stayed up there until I moved to Portland just a few years ago.
So I ask this in every interview, regardless. Do you have a strange or useless talent?
That's a good question. I don't think anything that strange. I know a lot of trivia about really nerdy stuff, mostly through music, and I can probably, you know, like spout off like really, really useless Simpsons quotes or Seinfeld trivia or whatever.
So if things go right, you'll be getting back on stage what looks like in July. And you've got a few shows scheduled, which we're actually hoping to snag you in Charlotte. And that's a great venue. We've gone there before. But I see that you're doing most of your shows with Honeysuckle. So tell me about them. Yeah,
Honeysuckle is a duo. They're out of Boston. They're amazing. I've known the lead singer, Holly McGarry, for a long time through my friend Shook Twins. She's an amazing songwriter. Along with Chris in the band, and we've never done a tour together, but we've collaborated a bunch, and they've opened for me a bunch up in Boston and in Idaho. So I love them so much, and it's just been. We tried to have the tour back in April, but obviously that got postponed.
August killed over the key to the fall, outstretched in his sun-dipped and calloused right hand. Dead on the threshold of outside and in, how the sirens wailed high, how the rain came again.
So you've got hundreds of thousands of monthly listeners on just Spotify alone, and you've really taken off, and you're going to be getting back into the show soon. So what do you have going on for the future? And we'll close out with that, and what you're more excited about, and what's happening for, you know, everything, and getting back to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah, I mean, the big news for me is I have my new record is coming out Friday. I'm not sure when this will air, but Friday, June 12th. And that's very exciting for me to have that out. And then I'll just be, for the rest of the year, promoting that any way I can, whether it's in live shows or online. And then, yeah, as soon as touring is normal, I'll get back to work on that and probably get back to recording soon too.
Yeah, but thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy and everything, so it's been awesome. Yeah. We hope to catch you in Charlotte. So
yeah, me too.
Thanks again.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't ask me if I'm lonely, baby. You know I'm lonely. If I wasn't lonely, then I wouldn't be talking to you. I'm trying to drink this poison and see if it'll kill me. I used to have immunity, oh, but now I don't know what it'll do.